Okay, we will continue our lesson. So, perfection is rarely seen, and Rama is one form of perfection, Krishna is another form of perfection. Okay, both are perfect in their own age. Okay, so we cannot say that yes, Rama is good or Krishna is good, and but both are perfect in their own age. Okay, so that we have to accept and see. I think open at page 45. So incarnation, all the 10 incarnation is given. Okay, so all the incarnation is nothing but the evolution of earth. Okay, so all the 10 evolution of earth. Okay, so when the first evolution and fish and other that is living creatures in the ocean is formed, and then the amphibian, the living creatures from the ocean. The living creatures move to the land, and then it is done, and then another. Four legs animals were created. They formed themselves, and then the fifth one is the Narasimha incarnation. That is half man and half animal. From that evolution only, rules and regulations. From that, when Vishnu incarnated himself as Narasimha, the concept of dharma, rules and regulations evolved, and then we have Vamana, Parshurama, Rama, Krishna, and in this book it is given that Buddha is incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Okay, so that is the reality given here. Okay, so all Hindus should accept Buddhism, and Buddha, Lord Buddha, Gautama Siddhartha is actually incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Okay, so that is what given here. Okay, so Buddhism is also a part of Hinduism, and so especially in these days all of us should follow Buddhism. Okay, so in this age we should not follow any rules and regulations of Indian mythology. If you want to follow it, you can follow it, but predominantly we should follow Buddhism. Okay, so because Buddha is incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Okay, that's what given in this book. So, okay, continue. Rama is perfect in his own age, and Krishna is perfect in his own age. The characterization itself is completely different from Rama and Krishna. And what we have to follow in this age is actually Buddhism. Okay, and we should not follow Rama also, and we should not follow Krishna also, and rather we should follow Buddhism. What Buddha says, and we have to follow it carefully and implement in life. Okay, of course, this is the age beginning of Kalki incarnation, and by that the whole world will die. And in this age, actually, when the incarnation begins, people are supposed to follow the rules and regulations of the incarnation of the previous incarnation. So in the previous incarnation, Buddha is incarnation of Vishnu, and we have to follow his principle. And when in Kalki incarnation, now only Krishna will born or already have born, that we do not know, and he will tell us this is how you have to follow, and then we will follow it. We cannot follow what Kalki says. In Kalki, what Kalki says that we do not know, and we cannot follow also, we will not follow also. But the future generation, after Kalki incarnation, the future, we all will die, and then what Kalki says that the future generation should follow. Okay, so this is the concept here. Okay, so in linear paradigm, okay, so listen carefully, please write down the point. In linear paradigm, if one wants happiness, he should follow the rules and regulations given in the sacred book. Okay, but in cyclical paradigm, one must accept death, and if he wants moksha, he should follow dharma. I mean, he should get moksha. Okay. So in cyclical paradigm, you have to accept death wholeheartedly. In linear paradigm, okay, you have to believe that there is no death, and if you want to have no death, you follow the sacred book. But in case of cyclical paradigm, accept death and get moksha. I mean, accept death and get moksha. This is the concept of cyclical paradigm. Okay, so cyclical paradigm says that suffering is everlasting. Suffering is forever and ever. Okay, so if you are born as a creature, suffering will happen. You cannot escape from suffering. And if at all you want to escape from suffering, we need to get moksha. And how to get moksha? Okay, so what is moksha and how to get moksha, that I will explain now. So let me lecture fast. In this video itself, let me explain what is moksha and how to get moksha. So, moksha is liberation from life. Okay, moksha is liberation from life. That is accepting death wholeheartedly. Okay, and we may born as in my next birth. So I did this amount of good things, and in my birth as a prasad. So I did not do my job as a father, as a son to my parents, as a teacher, I did great things as a teacher. I did great things as a father. I did great things as a son to my parents. Okay. So therefore, in my next birth, I may born as a great king or with a wealthy person. Okay. And no, I did not do my job. I did not do my duty perfectly as a teacher, as a father, as a husband, as a son. So I may born as a dog in my next birth. Okay. So this. Borning again and again and suffer will continue. So if I want to relieve myself from birth, and I have to, so next birth I will born as a dog, because I did lots of sins in this birth. Okay, as a dog I have to do my duty perfectly. Okay. And as a dog, and the people who, the humans who give me food, I have to be loyal to the human who are loyal. Who gave me food, who helped him. Okay. Then again in the next birth I will born as a human. And when I born as a human, I should follow the dharma, and I should get moksha when I born as a human itself. Okay, so I have to stop borning again and again. Okay, so I should get liberation from life. So how to get moksha? Then we have to answer the question, who am I? That is the first step of getting moksha. So the first step of getting moksha is answering the question, who am I? So as we answer the question, the answer should not be through sensory stimuli. the answer for the question who am I should not be based on sensory stimuli. Okay, so okay, my name is Prasad and I live in 42 years 50 minutes to Pondicherry Nayan. My parents' name is Manohar Pongadi. So this should not, these are all the answers. I am an assistant professor in College College of Education. These are all answers based on sensory stimuli. This is not be the case. The answer should be through self-realization. The answer of the question, who am I, should be based on self-realization. Okay, so the answer for the question, who am I, is done through self-realization. And how to do self-realization? That is the next step. So how to do self-realization? Self-realization should be transcending beyond all needs with the object's birth and death. Transcending beyond all needs with the object's birth and death. Okay, so I want a car, I want an AC, I want a fan, I want a cell phone. Okay, so these things should not be our need. Even food, shelter, clothing, these things should not be our need. Okay, we should not like birth, we should not like, we should not hate death. Okay, so such kind of desires and wants, needs, we should not have those things. Okay, so this is the next step, and the next step is going to be how can we have to avoid these kinds of worldly desires. Okay, the needs related to object. So I want cell phone, I want fan, I want AC, I want car. Those kinds of desire for object should be given up, should be sacrificed. Even desire for children. Okay, I want a wife, and after marrying, I want children. I want 2 children. I want 3 children. No, I want 1 child. Nothing we should have. Okay, I mean, the desire for those things should be avoided if you want to have a self-realization. Okay, the fear of death, that also should be avoided, and then we should have the, let's say, we should have the experience of Sat. I mean SAT, 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 Sat. That means absolute truth. Absolute truth. Sat means absolute truth. And then we should have Chitta, CHITTA, Chitta. That is pure consciousness. And then Ananda, ANANDHA, Ananda, that is eternal bliss. I mean, Hindus have the word Satchidananda. Okay, Satchidananda means the first syllable, Sat, that means absolute truth. Chitta, that is the second syllable, that means pure consciousness. And then we should have Ananda, that is eternal bliss. That is, when we have Satchidananda, Satchidananda, that is absolute truth, pure consciousness and eternal bliss, we are united with divinity itself. Okay, we are united with the divinity itself. Okay, that's how we have to get moksha. Okay, so when we get, so suffering will continue. So if we want to get out of the suffering, we have to get moksha. That is, we don't want any life. So when we want to get moksha, we have to find out the answer for the question, who am I? The answer for the question should not be based on the sensory stimuli, that is, my name is Prasad, I am born in Pondicherry, such kind of one. That is not the correct answer for the question, who am I? And it is done through self-realization. Self-realization should be done through transcending beyond all needs with the objects, birth and death. It should be done through the experience of Satchidananda. Okay, we should have the experience of Satchidananda. If we want to get the experience of Satchidananda, that is the meaning of the word Satchidananda means absolute truth, pure consciousness, and eternal bliss. Okay, absolute truth. Okay, so the truth that is okay, there is fan inside me, in front of me, there is a phone in front of me. This alone is not going to be reality. This is reality. There is a phone in front of me, and I am. There is a video is prepared by me, and there is a fan working up in front of me. There is a notebook in front of me. There is there is a book in front of me. So you do not know that I have a notebook. I have a book, Indian mythology book itself. Okay, that you are unable to see, but the truth is, this is the reality. I have a book, that is reality. Okay, we have to accept the reality, but we must accept the reality, the truth which is beyond our sensory stimuli. Beyond our sensory stimuli, there are various truth. That truth we have to understand those truth, and that should be done through pure consciousness. Okay, say for example, pure consciousness means as we study, we have to study wholeheartedly. Okay, motivation. See, motivation. Motivation is the basement of preparation for studies. Okay, beyond motivation, we should have pure consciousness. Yes, what is there in the book? What is there in Indian mythology? Okay, such kind of pure consciousness, and we have to feel the truth inside the what is there in the book. Okay, we have to feel the truth what is there in the Bible. Okay, that is said to be pure consciousness. Okay, see, most of you listen to my video lectures for the sake of internal marks and university marks. Suppose there is no exam, the marks will be given to you. Okay, government is discussing how marks can be given to the +2 students without conducting the exam, by conducting the internal test, and they are deciding it. So in case we don't have a university exam, based on internal marks, your marks are decided. Already based on internal marks, your second semester was decided. Okay, so I mean fourth semester. Okay. Already third semester, you completed the third semester. Second semester only you did not write the university examination. So fourth semester that we do not know. But so 30 marks I have. In case of university exam, you will write the exam maybe online or offline or traditional way, whatever it may be. That we do not know. They are all unpredictable event. Okay. So whatever it may be, whether for sake of university examination or for sake of marks, it doesn't matter. Whatever we do it with pure consciousness. Okay. So after the video, I will meet my daughter. As I express my love for my daughter, that should be done through pure consciousness. Okay, that is the way of attaining moksha. Loving my daughter, expressing my love for my daughter should be done through pure consciousness. Okay, so even listening to the video lecture, preparing for the examination should be done through pure consciousness. Okay, this time I should get 90 marks. That should not be the case. Okay, we have to live in this world, and you have to prepare for the examination. You have to score marks. That scoring marks alone should not be your aim. That is not pure consciousness. Okay, so what is there in the book? Let me feel it. What is there in generations? What is there in Nagamandala? Okay, we have to feel it. That is said to be pure consciousness. That's how we have to do each and every job. Even when we wear a dress, a shirt, everything should be done through pure consciousness. Okay, when we do it, naturally we are united with eternal divinity, eternal bliss. We will have the experience of that, and we get moksha. Okay, so let's say Okay, and let me narrate the story of Brahma. That is actually Brahma is the creator. I mean, I mentioned this point. I'm going to summarize the story of page number 49. Okay, Brahma is going to be the creator. Because of Brahma only we suffer. Because of Brahma we born. When we born, we have suffering, all kinds of sufferings. Okay, so therefore we should never pray Brahma. And actually, see, Brahma is the observer. With him, creation came. Okay, so when there is the observer, naturally, when he began to observe, and naturally a girl, female is also formed. Okay, he begins to act, he begins to observe. When he begins to observe, naturally Saraswati is born. Okay, so and he wants to enjoy the beauty of the girl. Actually, she is supposed to be the daughter. Saraswati is supposed to be daughter of Brahma, and he began to develop lustful behavior with I mean, from the creation, the female, he began to develop lustful activity, and then he developed to enjoy the girl's beauty. I mean, the girl is revolving around Brahma. Okay, so to enjoy the beauty of the girl conveniently, he developed 4 heads. Okay, when the girl moves in this way, and Brahma has another face in this side also, and he is able to enjoy the beauty. And the girl moves towards the back, and back also there is there is another face, and then he is able to enjoy himself. And then creation. I'm cut shorting the story. So creation began, and so the girl wants to avoid the lustful behavior with Brahma, and she asked the help of Vishnu. And actually on the head also he developed another face. Okay, to enjoy her beauty. Okay, so Vishnu cut off the head, face on the head. Okay, and then okay, you marry her. Okay, such kind of rules Vishnu formed, and then creation and earth was created. That is history. And so whatever we should avoid creation, and we should avoid Brahma, that is creation. When we have creation, naturally suffering will happen. Okay, so when this is the case in Christianity and in Islam, you get eternal life. Okay, that is your belief. You want to follow it. But in case of Hinduism, Dharma, if you follow Dharma, that is one way of attaining self-realization. So for Hindus, self-realization should be the ultimate aim, not heaven. All gods will die one day. Okay, Lord Vishnu, Shiva, everyone will die one day. So Hindus must accept death. And what is that in Hinduism? Self-realization. Self-realization is could be done through Satchidananda, that is knowing absolute truth, pure consciousness, and then eternal bliss. So when we want to have absolute truth and pure consciousness, Dharma is important way. Follow Dharma. Okay, do not follow the Dharma of Lord Rama or Krishna. In this age, what is convenient for people's survival, for all creatures' survival, what is convenient? That we have to find out. And people's survival and the things which is disturbing for the self-realization, that we ourselves should form rules and regulations and follow the path of Dharma, and then we have self-realization, and then we get moksha. Okay, so let me stop here, and I will continue. Okay, thank you.